2 unusable soil.
It's unusable.
Yeah!
We believe this will make
You're waiting for battery life.
I don't care, I have another one. That's in camera, not battery.
Alex, you've got to keep a straight face. Keep it straight.
Don't laugh.
cheap.
Mr. Curry's got collarbone.
You're cheap. Your laughs are cheap.
Oh yeah, yes.
Prank, bro.
This is a prank, bro.
Oh yeah.
This is a prank, bro.
We believe that this will make
This is a prank, bro.
Hi, Liam.
Wait, what? How did
Maybe. Mine.
Our product is the Odyssey SS China.
Beach.
The dress stands for systematically surveying soil. Our goal is to make a reliable,
Cheap and reliable.
cheap and reliable. Doesn't matter what order it's in. Cheap.
I'm putting this out here, I'm not putting this on YouTube or anything.
Cheap and reliable
Cheap.
solution to unusual soil.
I knew you had a unibrow. I'm just too polite to notice.
Imagine
Camera
that
section.
this will make farmers richer, make products cheaper. I don't care, okay?
I have another camera.
How it will work is that we will plant SSC.
And that's the camera.
This doesn't record sound. Why did I bring this?
They will be powered by solar electricity.
Yes, thank you.
Chemists will concoct.
No, I mean you, Richard.
Yes, I am. Why is it bumpy?
Ricky, it's your
Oh, it's me. What's this fucking tweet?
Oh, has Alex read his bit?
Yes.
I want to put it. It's in my pocket.
Hi, come on here.
Oh, Richard, it's your turn.
Yes, I'm told it. Because our idea for the lack of farmers in the growing robot industry, the original design was based on a mouse.
Oh my god, it's Liam the mouse.
We did this because we did this
because mice are known for scurrying through fields. We developed it by changing the wheels to off-road, the ways it researches the soil, and the ways it delivers the nutrients. It improves existing solutions because it both examines and improves soil. It automates whole fields.
We came across multiple problems. First is how the SS Seedle communicates with KOL. We thought of other methods like Wi-Fi, but eventually agreed that cutting into the too big a the battery. Liam, have you come up with an intro? I've got the intro. I'm doing it. I'm saying hello, we're from Garfield College. My name I'm just going to say, because you got the longest chunk of writing. And Liam had to say
My name is Dick.
Oh yeah, I'll take mine. Guys, in the presentation, I'm Dick.
Hi, I'm Dick. We actually
Yes, I'm Dick.
Okay, yeah, please.
Yes.
Okay,
Just for the
hi, I'm Alex, I'm Sean, I'm Dick, I'm Leon, and I'm Liam.
And I'm Juan.
You need to mix it up. I'm Leon, and you're Liam. Liam, and you're Leon, okay? No, because Liam the Leon.
And his name is Juan Cena.
Oh my god, blue taxi.
Our blue taxi.
It's just a prank, bro.
Look at the van.
It's just a prank, bro.
I can't get good pictures.
Anyway, let's carry on. Leon, just a prank. Let's get on. Alex, Leon, carry on. Okay, right into the news. Would be too big a strain on the battery. Another was what would happen if the SS Strider encountered problems. The solution.
Oh, it's a red light.
Update the
Amazing.
farmer if it was unable to continue. We were also worried about cross-contamination, so we decided to have different tanks, which will be swapped manually by the farmer. The main tank would be the water tank, of course, because plants need water to live.
No, they don't.
The season will be
Don't say.
Bluetooth to connect. It's an article which camera me. Plants don't need water to live, and we entered a farm project. Yay, we're gonna win!
I charged it up last night and it has full. And I have another camera that has 3 sets of batteries.
Can I do the conclusion at the end?
Hey, Liam,
Yes.
Liam, that's wrong. It doesn't have a chip and pipes.
Pardon?
It doesn't. The chemist doesn't have a chip and pipes. The Strider comes along, fills up his tank with the special solution, and then goes to the area.
So that's like a chip so that it's like
Okay, fine. Okay, I'll say the chemist will have a chip
That hair.
so that
Damn
it can
son.
communicate Communicate with the Strider.
Wait, I can do vlog mode. Oh,
Tell the Strider when the concoction is ready.
oh, yeah. Sexy moustache.
Okay. Strider will force you.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, how are you?
Strider will have a microchip at the front to prevent damage
Hi, Ral.
from the tanks.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
GoPro Hero 4.
Hi, how are you?
Progress, you can communicate with the captain.
It's great banter. We're in Moss End. Am I going to get the sign? No.
As you can see, running around, check how it moves.
I have no idea where we are. I wasn't watching the road.
What's end?
We're nearly here.
Oh yeah, I know where we are.
Go is around.
We have our headings.
Thank you for considering us.
Wait, Alex.
Okay. Now look back in your seat, Richard.
What?
Film at the back of your seat.
How
much time do we have? I don't know.
Bruh.
I'm going to set up the other case.
Oh yeah, Alex's contacts.
Richard, I'm going to set up the other case as quick as I can.
Okay, good.
Richard?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Hi, how are you? Sure.
Well, I need to like reorganise some stuff on my. I don't know. I don't do football.
Take it up to Aaron to get paid.
I know no football. Yay, we're here.
I haven't set up.
Syngenta.
Is this actually Syngenta?
Syngenta. Oh, I got the picture.
That is a tiny cottage. Is that a little cottage, Syngenta?
Yes.
Second Bracknell Scout Route.
I've been there.
Wow, they suck.
I'm in the second Bracknell Scout room.
Oh,
suck.
Richard, that's second Bracknell
Dude,
Scout
that's my scout room. I'm the second Bracknell.
You suck.
It sucks. Don't go there.
Yes, I know.
Brentford sucks.
Do you have a kid called Adam? Like little tiny kid with glasses?
Do you have
No, but I know him. We're here. Bored again. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's sexy.
I like it.
Taxi. It's a taxi.
I'm going to put in the new battery. Should I put in the new battery or leave
It's
the
focusing
old one
on the.
New battery.
Use this to me.
Nope. I'm using
I've
it,
got
boy.
2 double A's if you want them.
No, I have 12.
What? Give me
That takes double A's, boy.
Shiny!
terrible thing.
Shiny.
Odyssey Strider?
He looks so depressed.
Yeah.
Look, Richard, this is how I change my battery.
Leon!
Bruh.
Leon! Leon!
This is how I change my bus. Change. Boom, 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 boom. Where is Liam? Where is Liam?
I'm here.
Liam. Yes. Oh, we have the thingy me. Is it working yet, Sean?
Yeah, that's fine.
No, you suck, Sean.
Okay, sure. So we'll take it for now. Yeah, we'll find a YouTube video or something.
Yeah. We have the video of it moving though. Like,
Even if it doesn't work, then we can always
yes, we have the video of it moving, and that's good enough.
We can always play the short
It's
clip.
mine now.
So, boys, we start walking through Leon
Here he is.
with us.
Hey, Odyssey.
Hey, where's my juice?
Rider. It's there. I always.
Right beside you, Sean.
It's, yeah, Sean. It's right next to you.
Well, and Robert, come this way.
Here we go. Okay, start recording now. Take some pictures. Why is that overexposing this? Let's filter. Boom. Aperture. Set the aperture. Make it dark as hell. That's more like it. Well, I haven't done the. I'm doing the super macro of my moustache. That's terrible. My nose.
Oh my god, your nose is so sweaty and hairy.
I know. It's not focusing. Why? terrible. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Hey. Right, we'll make a start. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Oh, you do better than that. Morning.
Morning.
So, welcome to Syngenta, and welcome to the finals of this year's Farm Tech Challenge. So, we've got loads of things crammed in today to do. We're going to go out on the tours, we're going to see some brilliant technology, we've got some demonstrations from some of our partners, and best of all, we're going to hear from you about some of the presentations and some of the your part in the competition, your entries. And we've had great fun looking through them. We've got some of the judges here today as well that have looked through them. And finishing off this afternoon, we're going to have a big reveal as to who the winner is and who's going to take home not only some cool tech for themselves, but also £1,000 for their school. So there's a lot to play for. So I'll thank them again at the end, but I want to thank all the partners that have been involved with Syngenta in bringing the Farm Tech Challenge to happen. They've played a part as judges, providing case studies, really pulling together all the themes so that we've got a representation across the industry. And you'll see as part of the tours when we go around today, and everything that we do, we have to work in partnerships with other people. So everybody's got different parts of the technology, different parts of the jigsaw that we all need to pull together, and that's just the same with this competition. So very quickly, I'm just going to spend 5 minutes giving you an introduction to why you're here and why we're doing the competition that we're going to do. Then we're going to go out on tours. Then we're going to hear from some other people back over here in this building. Then we're going to hear from you. We're going to have some lunch, and then we're going to find out later what's going on. So we're up here. So this is the Gellets Hill research site. So it's Syngenta's largest research site. We've got 800 people working on site. We've got biologists and chemists and environmental scientists and technology, all different technology areas. So you're going to see some of that. You're not going to see all of that, but I'm going to show you a video that fills in some of the gaps in a moment. We're going to go into some working science areas, so safety is going to be important. It's important in this building as well. So if we hear the fire alarm today, there's no drills planned, so we assume that it's real. Follow the tour guides or the scientists, and they'll take you to the right places. If we're in this building, then you either head back through the main entrance that you come in, or the fire exit is just through there to the side. There will be opportunities to take photos today, but just check with the hosts that are guiding you around. And we're going into working greenhouses and laboratories, so we'll be giving you coats to wear and glasses to wear where we need to. We don't take food and drink into those areas, so we just have to be aware of all the signs and the risks that are there. So for those of you, I know in the room we've got some people who have really got in and entered the competition, and we've got some other people that have come along as well. So for those of you who've done the competition, you probably know all about Syngenta and all the things that I'm going to talk about. But Syngenta, where you are here at Gellets Hill, we invent things for farmers. So chemicals that will help protect their crops from weeds and insects and diseases. We breed new varieties of plants to help them grow better crops. We get involved, and that's some of the things that you'll see today, with other technologies that farmers will use, and see how we can pull those technologies together to help them produce more safer food for us to eat, the growing population. So the big world of Syngenta, we've got 28,000 people in 90 countries. So we're a big global company. Underneath everything that we do, we've got this great ambition to help feed the world and do that sustainably. And we've definitely seen that through some of your entries. We're not just thinking about the big, technically advanced farmers with the huge tractors and combines. We're also looking at parts of the world where smallholder farms, that's the norm, and actually that's where small advances in technology can make a huge difference in their ability to feed the world, feed themselves. The good growth plan is really important to us. It underpins everything we do. You'll hear more about that. It was part of the competition. It set the themes for the competition. If we don't live by these values, these things, then we don't have that sustainable business. So what we do, we've got to produce more food, but we don't want to waste that food either in the farm or on the way to our plates. We're producing our food out in the countryside, and the countryside is also important for biodiversity. We need to look after the soils that are out there as well. So these are parts of the values that pull things together. And then we've got to think about the people that are working in those places. So the safety of those people, the health of those people, the prosperity of those people. So these are the things that, everything we do in Syngenta, we try and look at these values and see, well, how is what we're doing addressing some of these bigger challenges that are there in the world? So very quickly, I'll put a video up of Gelates Hill. I'll talk over it because we're tight on time today. So this is a real snapshot of all the different bits that we have going on here on site. So we've got other research sites as well. This is the one that's the most complicated, with loads of different things going on. The tour today is going to take us from here, via here. We're going to go into this building. We're going to come over into the glass houses and the laboratories over there and back up. So you're going to get a feel for the size of it. Hopefully you've got your walking boots on because we're going to be fast-paced moving around. This is a part we're not going to see today on the tour, but we've got a lot of chemistry happening here. We've got some really nice chemistry labs, and these guys are inventing our new products of the future. We've got, you'll see, automation is everywhere. And when you use automation, that frees up people to do more interesting things. So there are a lot of routine, repetitive things that we have to do as part of the scientific studies that we do. But, some of the robots, some of the things that you'll see today really help that. So you're going to get a walk through the greenhouse. In this greenhouse, we're growing crops from all over the world. So we've got corn, we've got soybean, we've got bananas, we've got rice, we've got sugarcane, and we can create those conditions. So then we can carry out our tests in the conditions that they would be used in. Outside, I saw some of you with the glasses on today. Some of the microscopy that we do here. That's a little bit of fun with the 3D glasses, but we have fantastic microscopy capabilities, so we can get right inside the plants so we can understand what's going on. You're going to meet Alan today. We're not going to go into this area, but Alan works in the area where we're testing new ways that we can apply our products. So you'll learn all about the gimbal that we've got that looks to do that in a clever and targeted way. This is a big shower that we've got. So we need to do some tests in the rain. This makes it rain reliably. We get a lot of rain here in the UK, but this helps. And this is a part of site, we'll walk past it, but we're not going to go in, where we're breeding new varieties of wheat. So people all across the world are growing wheat. It's a really important crop, and we're developing stronger varieties that are more resistant to disease, that will yield better quality grain, get better loaves of bread, etc. And hopefully today as well, like this building, you'll get a feel for the environment that we work in as scientists here. So we've got all of these spaces so that we can come together and work together to bring all these different technologies together. So it's a fantastic place to work. I've worked here for 17 years. I'm a biologist, is my background, but we have people working in all those different areas. Loads of stuff going on, and you're just going to see a snippet of it today. It's just a shame we couldn't show you everything, but you'd need to be here for a week to see everything that we did. So I'm going to hand over to Chelsea now. Chelsea's going to explain a little bit more about what we're going to do next, because we're going to split up and we're going to go into some tours.
Yep, so as Jim said, we're splitting up into about 3 groups, and we've got 3 stations around the site, so it'll give you a flavour of some of the exciting pieces of equipment we've got. So group 1, you're going to be with Saranga, some of you might know her already, and you'll start here in this building. You'll see the gimbal system with Alan and Kath. You'll then go down to see some and learn about more of our farm sensors, and then you'll come across and see some of the cool image analysis that we do, and we'll also make a couple of stops along the way to see a robot and the glass houses. Group 2 are going to be with me, and group 3 with Jim. So I don't know how to best split you up, but
no, the only thing is some people will need to join the Reading School group, because that's smaller, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how big are the other 2 groups? How many people have we got altogether from Garth? 12 from Garth. Well, why don't we just keep them in the school groups that they're in? Don't mix them up. So we can do that. So stay in the groups that you are. Why doesn't Garth go to Saranga? You know Saranga from going into the school, working with her. Chelsea, do you want Reading or do you want Clemmendale?
Reading.
Chelsea take Reading. I'll say take Clemmendale.
And I've got to mention, if you grab a quiz sheet back there in the pen, there is a prize to win at the end, and it's a very good prize.
It's an awesome prize.
And you'll learn stuff along the way.
Okay. So, let me go first because we're going the furthest. So, who did I say? Did I say Reading? Clemmendale, come with me.
Okay. Liam. Hi, how are you?
Looking at the end of my
Sean.
Yes, I am.
Sean! What's up?
Yeah.
End of the video in 3, 2, 1.
Different frequencies of light to say, well, that's the soil, that's a weed, that's a plant, and it's using the shape and the colour of plants. And then it tells the decision-making system whether to shoot it with a laser and kill it with a laser, or whether to spray some pesticide at it. So that's kind of the model of what our system looks like. This is what it looks like. Yeah, for his answers there.
Where's the
Some answers in that, it's there.
Yeah, I've been prompting, like, I'm trying to remember what I need to tell you. So this is what our machine looks like in the field. So this is a field of lettuce, and it's looking for very small weeds and trying to kill them. I think you guys might need to write, like, on each other's backs or something. Okay? So this is kind of how it works. So it's a bit of a robotic system, and you can see at the top where you've got the colours. What the system is seeing with its vision system, it's seeing the blue splodges, which are the lettuces, and it's saying in the red area that's really close to a lettuce, I'm not going to spray any pesticide, but I'm going to kill the weeds with a laser. And then you can see the little green weeds that it's going to target with a splash of pesticide application. So when I play this video, you'll kind of see it moving. Or not.
I think you've got to click on the actual arrow, haven't you?
I didn't used to need to, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, we've had a bit of an idea. The screen was yellow until a minute ago. So you can see on the left-hand side where it's spitting out the pesticide and spraying the weeds. And you can see on the right hand side the little laser pointer where it's like killing the weeds and the smoke's coming out.
Star Wars.
It's a little bit Star Wars. It's cool, isn't it?
The weed is
So the whole point is that we don't have to
smoking.
spray pesticides over the whole field. We can just target the weeds that we want to kill.
How quick can the nozzle turn on and off?
Wow, where did you get that question from?
I don't know.
I wonder.
Is it 0.1 of a millisecond what it said before the slide?
No, so that's the speed that our tractor's going through the field at the moment. So the nozzle, so the little squirt of pesticide, how it turns on and off is 10 milliseconds.
10 milliseconds.
So that's 10,000th of a second. It's pretty quick.
Get off my back.
So is the solution that you put onto the weeds here, would that be more concentrated than you'd spray on a whole field, or the same
It's the
concentration?
same concentration.
The same
We
formulation.
just put it over it. So we've had to make our formulations special, and this is why. So you can see in the picture that you can see where the ground's wet. You can see it sprayed the weeds and not the rest. But if you look at this, so this is what happens when you spray water on a leaf. It basically just all splashes off. And what you don't want is it splashes off and hits your lettuce because it'll kill your lettuce. So we've optimised the formulation so that when the drops hit the leaf now, this is a high-speed camera so you can see it all in slow motion.
Oh, wow.
They just hit the leaf and now they don't splash. So we've changed the product that we're applying so that it doesn't splash off the leaf.
How does it stay together? How do you make the surface tension like that?
So we've added surfactants to reduce the surface tension. So like washing up liquid changes the surface tension, and then we've put things in it that thicken it as well. So it's got, when it hits the leaf, the thickening things change the energy, so take the energy out of the droplet so it doesn't splash so much, it doesn't break up.
The laser thing, I thought you had to kill a weed at its roots. Why did you just say you can't?
So you're right. So for some weeds that you need to take the roots, this won't work probably. But what we're doing is we're targeting the laser on the little point where everything grows out from it. So it will just stop it growing for a while. So it and then when the crop gets bigger, it takes over anyway. So if the weed's not really growing, it's not really competing very much.
Yeah, weeds tend to outcompete the crop if they're left, but if you knock them back a bit, you'll get the crop growing out and crowd out the weeds, so then the crop overtakes.
So that means then light can get to the weeds then?
Yeah, it's like stuff doesn't grow under trees, basically. It's a really good question. So this is our system that we've got in the field, but we need to do some testing in the lab, and so Alan's going to show you, and you can come a lot closer, but watch these cables. That this is our system that we can use in the lab.
I'm an application specialist. I'm kind of a chemist by training, but I'm kind of interested in what the customers are doing, how the growers and our people that we sell our products to use our product. So this is our gimbal system, and it's got a little, this is the one that sprays the pesticide into the targeted that you've seen on the video. It runs at 10 milliseconds, just in case you didn't get that one. The gimbal it targets where you need to put it. So you've got, hopefully you can see on the screen here, the image of what's below, so we can capture that image. Like so, and it sees the green on the blue background, and it uses the image analysis software within it to direct the spray to where we want it. So you can do it manually first of all, so you can do kind of point and squirt. So that one, should spray that corner one, which you did, and it's now targeted it. So you think, well, that's going to take too long if you're going on in the field. So we've got an auto targeting system as well. So you can take that one out there. So, capture the image again. Add auto target. Hopefully, should put capture the image again. It should put little squares around all the targets it sees. There you go. So it's now seen the four green targets in these two, and then you can go start cycle. In theory, it should spray all four in turn pretty quickly as well. So the gimbal's there really to make sure it goes, the spray goes where we want it to go. So yeah, it's
so on a normal tractor, your nozzles would be mounted and then just point downwards, but with this one we can use the gimbal system to point them in different directions.
Putting the spray exactly where we want it rather than actually having something like a selective herbicide you put across. It doesn't affect the crops but does affect the weeds. You can use this just to use non-selective herbicides to place it in where you want it.
What do the sensors measure?
Bruce?
What's that?
This is a question for you. So Bruce's team have actually designed the software that can tell which is a crop and which is a weed.
So, what was the question? Sorry,
What do the sensors measure?
Oh, right, okay. If you look at a plant, it's got a natural sunscreen. Basically, because plants photosynthesize, then they absorb energy in the same bands that we can see, what your eyes can see, mostly in the blue and in the red, right?
Which is why they look green,
That's
because
why
they
they look
reflect
green,
the green and absorb the red and the blue.
Yes, that's sort of counterintuitive. The fact that they look green because they're absorbing the red and the blue, because that's where they create the chlorophyll. Basically creates the or converts energy into all the various nutrients and that sort of stuff that it uses. So if you what they've done, they've built up a natural sunscreen that they respond in to the visible light, but they don't respond to infrared light. So they just basically reflect that. So if you look at into the infrared, which is basically just beyond what we can see, and you look at the red where they absorb, and you basically look at the differences between them, then plant material comes out of the images, and that's what we do. Basically, we look in the infrared and in the visible, and we calculate where the plants are with respect to the background. So you get all the plant material. If you do that, it's remarkable. It doesn't matter what colour stones and soil you've got. The plant material always come out in very clear, cartoon, almost like images. Which I don't know if you've got any in your. We've got lots and lots of little videos. In fact, I'll probably show you at lunchtime.
Oh, we've got the one.
Shot. Oh, there you go, your cartoon video. There you go.
So the bit at the top is what Bruce is talking about. So it can really clearly tell black is anything that's not a plant, and then all the stuff that's coloured. So it can see where the weeds are because they're plant material, and it can see where the lettuces are because they're plant material. And then it's also using size and shape to say the really big ones are the lettuces, and they're all in a straight line. So anything that isn't is probably a weed.
So, is this actually the video or is it just a still?
It's video.
Ah, okay. Well, if you watch the video, you'll see there'll be little red flashes of light. Right, so that's obviously the red light that you can see. At the same time, there's infrared light that's happening. Those flashes are about a millisecond, thousandths of a second. And so there's infrared light going on at the same time, just after those red flashes. And so you can't see that, but the plants will reflect it. And so the reason why you get this cartoon-like image at the top is because it's basically calculating where all that plant material is, and all the background just disappears to the sort of black bits that you see. And so, as Catherine says, the weeds are pulled out because they're very small compared to the crop. But you can be a lot cleverer than that if you start looking at all these different colours and wave bands up into the infrared. Actually tell lots of more features about what your plants do and the way they're responding to the environment. So it's using standard sort of camera technologies and light emitting diodes and stuff, but in a very novel way. So.
Was that a fairly long and waffly answer?
One of the key features is the fact that lettuce growers don't have a selection of products they can use to control their weeds. They're even resorting to hand weeding to do that. So anything that's going to bring some mechanisation and some speed into the operations can be a real benefit to the growers.
And also, if you look at a field where with a sprayer on the back of it, then a lot of that spray will end up, of course, on the soil, and obviously the products are designed to disappear, so they're environmentally sound. But it's a lot better to put the product directly where it needs to be. So you're using, one or two orders of magnitude, scales of differences in chemical usage, and you're getting the same effect.
So the company we're working with is like a really big vegetable grower in the UK. So they plant in the summer, between like February and August, they're planting 1 million lettuces a week. And most of that goes into your supermarket. I think they do 90% of the UK salary. They do lots of onions. So when you go and buy stuff in the supermarket or stuff that you eat at home, the good currencies come from people we're working with on this project.
I think, was it the claim that all the baby sweet corn in the country comes from this particular grower?
much would like something like this cost?
So at the moment, because we're only doing a prototype, they're pretty expensive.
Andrew said half.
So what we've built at the moment is, we're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds if you actually build that. But for a big grower, that's not that much. Even a combine harvester will cost you kind of hundreds of thousands of pounds. So it's a big investment, but for us it seems crazy because you could buy a house for that. But for these growers, because they're really big companies, they're not bothered by the cost too much.
It's the opposite at the time, and the people owning mechanical weed control is extremely expensive. So it starts to pay back when the machine's in the field and running.
Yeah, and for things like vegetables that you're just going to eat, you don't want to find any plants in your bag of lettuce that's not a lettuce. You don't want any weeds in there. So it's really important for them to have no weeds in their field.
How would you set this up on the field?
So this is just our lab system, but it's the same kind of stuff so it's inside this tractor at the moment. So let me just show you. So what we've got is the bit that's closest to the tractor. Underneath this box is the camera. So you've got the camera at the front taking the pictures and making the decisions. And then under this bigger bit here, we've got the laser. And obviously the laser, you have to be really careful with lasers because we don't want the beam to reflect off any stones and come out and hit people. So there's a lot of laser safety stuff in there. It's got like these kind of rubber skirts right down to the ground so the laser can't escape from the sides. And then this little bit on the front, we've got the spraying system. So you've got it in the order that you need it. So you make the decision first, and then as the tractor moves through the field, it's got time to make the decision, and then it decides, am I going to do some lasering, am I going to do some spraying? So this is just one of the nozzles that's under here, just mounted on a lab system for us, so that we can do some testing in the lab. We're done.
See, it's a small splodge of liquid on each of the targets.
We should have dyed it so you can see it more easily, but yeah, it's putting white. You've got a wet patch
So
basically
would it
around
do it
each
automatically if you move the targets between each one?
So you can move this target and take another image, and it auto target wherever it is now. It has moved, and then you go again, start cycle, and you'll still follow it.
And the really clever bit is it needs, obviously you're moving your tractor through the field, so it takes a picture and then it still needs to know where it's going to have moved to by the time it's
Needs to calculate, the time it takes.
What's that red cross?
The laser gun.
That's the laser at where it will,
so for what we're doing, that's just a laser pointer, like a laser pen, so that we can see where it's going.
But that's just crosshairs to show, okay, where's it going to fire?
Yeah.
So when you run it again,
It's like a sight in a gun.
So it's good for calibrating it before you start. So I think it's slightly off.
I think we're out of time, guys. I'm getting like messages that you need to move on.
Move on. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I've got a cool trick. So square root of -1.
Yes.
2 to the power of 3.
Yeah.
That little equation symbol that goes like.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Okay. And now 3.14159. That number.
Yeah.
Do you get it, Richard?
Wait, that plane is low down as hell. I just saw it.
And it was delicious.
Oh, come on.
Do you get the trick, Richard? Do you get it?
No.
The square root of -1 is I. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. That little e sim.
Oh, come on. I ate pie.
I ate some pie and it was delicious.
Come on.
Massive.
Oh,
We're
yes.
really far behind, but I don't care. No, I'm
So are they. Most of them are far.
Cameras.
Because I can.
Are those both your cameras?
Yes.
Why do you need 2 cameras?
Because.
Can I have that camera?
No. My dad has 2. My dad has 2 cameras.
Let's do it.
One of them is these and one of them is a great big thing. That can change the lens. This is great banter. Why am I recording while walking? This is wasting the time.
So we basically help the scientists to manage their data and also create and manage their software and also create software for them if they needed something bespoke. I particularly am a data scientist, so I work mostly with helping the scientists to analyse the data and get the most out of it. So this is Shanzeh, who's work experience, just finished GCSEs, so it's here to see what life is like in RDS. But this is the field where we currently got our prototype sensors in. It's quite a big field, it's 200 by 200 metres, I think. And in the field we've got 20 sensors in there, so they're about 20 metres apart. So if I give you a high overlevel of the project, this is a project around, so for thousands of years farmers have helped one another by talking to their neighbours and saying, oh look, you did had a pretty good yield this year, how did you do that? What changes did you make? When did you put your fertiliser on? And so over the centuries we've got better farming through sharing that knowledge. There's a bit of a limitation to that approach in that obviously it depends on how many neighbours you've got. There may be people not only in the same country but around the globe that actually have a really similar scenario to you, so they might have a similar field, but you just don't have access to the person, you don't have access to their knowledge. So we are working on a project, a proof of concept of can you describe a field or just a part of a field using data. And then if you put all that data in one place, could you then find for other farmers that are in really similar scenarios, you find out how they've done with their fields and learn from that. So these are all the kind of variables that we are using as part of this. So we're looking at all kind of things like weather, what you're doing on the farm, what the soil is like, what crop is it, what's the genetics behind it. But a big part of this is we need a lot of data. And so to capture that data, we need a lot of sensors. So if I just draw your attention to this poster, I don't think we need so many, and they need to be cheap, and they need to be robust, and they need to be accurate. So we are working with the University of Aberystwyth at the moment to create these sensors. So they're pretty glamorous. They're on scaffolding poles. Then on the top we've got a solar panel. We've got some of these bits here around. So solar panel for the battery. Then we measure at several different heights because obviously what's going on the ground is going to be different to what's going on say, metre high. So we measure at metre high, 20 centimetres high, ground level, and also in the soil. And the things we measure are air temperature. So that's obviously an important one because it lets us know how warm it is. A lot of crops need warmth to grow. Humidity lets us know whether it's been raining specifically or whether it's very dry. Incoming light lets us know how sunny it's been, which again is important to growing plants. And then also reflected light. So we take red, green, blue values. The idea around this one is a bit of an experiment, but we're thinking if we can tell. So let me give you. This is the temperature and humidity sensor. So the idea with the reflected light is that we could potentially see how the crop is growing. We could tell what the height is as we're getting values at the ground level, 20 centimetres a metre, we should be able to measure the crop height. Also, having red, green, and blue values means we can assess crop health. So if it's very green, then we know the plant's healthy. If we're getting more brown values, the plant probably not so healthy. The other parts that we need, we've got motherboards. How many of those use Raspberry Pis or kind of Raspberry Pis? Yeah. Yeah, nice. Well, this is kind of similar. This is an Arduino, so it's basically even cheaper. So yeah, that's the motherboard. We also the data comes back through radio signals. So we have a little radio antenna. And so they come back to, so the 20 nodes will speak to each other, and so if one battery, if one sensor's got really low battery, the sensors, it doesn't matter, it's not like the data goes back in a circuit, they can like talk to each other, and the information comes back to the base station here, and then gets radioed back to us in this building. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. The proof reason we have the sensors in the margin and not in the field is because when a farmer comes to to harvest their crop, they're going to drive a combine harvester over it. They can't have our sensors in the way. So the idea is that we might be able to interpolate into the field by having our sensors at perpendicular angles. And so far we've managed to prove that we can get some information from the inside of the field by getting information from the outside. But we've also got plans for other prototypes such as bouncing sensors, so on a pole that a tractor could drive over and then bounce back up again. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment, and it's a 3-year project and we're halfway through it. Does anyone have any questions?
Can that Raspberry Pi thing, like, as the motherboard, what does it do?
So it literally just takes, actually, it's a bit small here, but it basically takes like the battery, the radio module, and the sensor readings, and it sends it all back via the radio so it controls everything, and sends it back via the radio antenna.
So does it control the greenhouse?
Greenhouse? Does it control? You can put it in a greenhouse. Yeah. So yeah, and this is the cool thing about these Arduinos is you can get loads of different little components for them. So yeah, and you can remotely control them. So these ones at the moment they just take measurements and send them back to us. So you can have them add lights, you can add switches. Oh, actually, I did have 2 more slides. So this is what the data coming back to us looks like. So this is soil temperature over about a week. So you can see the peaks during the daytime. And the really interesting thing here is that there's a lot of variation across the field. So one edge is often colder than another edge, and that's probably due to something like elevation where the field isn't flat. Also sunlight, one half is shadier than the other. So it is really important to actually not just have one sensor in the field, we need several. And we can also see data about the health of the nodes, so we know how much data is coming back, we know if one's looking quite unhealthy, we can go out and do maintenance and just go do that. Anything else? Yeah, thank you.
You have so many questions on the sheet. No? You can know a bit about the
These things are huge. Oh, it smells cool.
Right, okay.
Swag.
What
are these doing?
We are right at the beginning of the chain. Right down this end. How long does it take to get a chemical out onto the market? Anybody got an idea? How long? I'm not going to do all the, I'm not telling you everything. I would like your hands going here.
10 years?
Well done. Spot on. It does.
How do you know these, Liam?
From where we are to something actually getting out on the market, alright? So it does take a long time. How many chemicals do you think we test a year in this department?
Oh.
What?
100.
100 chemicals?
Yeah.
Not more than that?
1,000.
That's too much. That'd be pushing it too much. I don't think the chemists could keep up making the chemistry for that amount already. No, we do 60,000 a year. We used to do up to 100 to 200,000, but what we've actually done is we've reduced it to 50 to 60,000, but we do it on more stuff and we give more information at an early stage so that they can get more information, okay? So, for us, we're going to work right at the beginning, and we're working on pesticides, aren't we? So we're helping the farmer produce better crops. That's what syngenta's for. So what are pesticides? Insecticide, well done, that's one. 2 more.
They kill weeds.
Well done. Herbicides, weeds, yeah, 1 more. No, we've done that one. That's the insecticides. Herbicides we've done.
Bacteria?
No. So if you're all at home and your mum goes to you, oh, and you go, Mum, I'm not feeling very well, you're going to, and she goes, it's all right, you can have a day off, you can go to bed, it's all right, I'll ring the school, you can have a day off. What's wrong with you? Bacteria? No, done insecticide. Well done. Fungicides, yes, fungus, disease, yeah, it's a disease. So it's the same as you lot getting disease at home, plants get diseases too, so it's a disease, yeah? So they're the areas we do it on. Okay, so to give you an idea, we can't do all that work on plants at this stage, we have to do it on plates. So in here are our plates. These are the herbicide plates. So on here is one looking very much like grass. It gets mixed up, and it's not, it's actually a weed. Okay, and on here is a broadleaf. So what we're looking for is anything that's bleaching. Can you see the bleaching in there? In the wells? Yeah? So we're looking for that. Why would we be looking for something that's bleaching a plant? What's it going to do if it's bleaching? It's going to kill it in the end, yeah. Why is it going to kill it? What can't the plant do if it's... Very well done. It can't photosynthesize if it's bleached, yes? It needs a green, then we killed that off. So that means in the end the plant will die. So that is a good herbicide. Gary's going to talk about on-leaf material in a minute, but diseases we do 2 ways. We do it on-leaf material, but we also do it in a jelly. So on here, we have got disease growing here, botrytis. So you've all seen your mouldy grapes at home in your fridge when they start to go mouldy, and you go, they go in the bin. This is that disease in here. And what we're doing is we're looking for the clear wells. So can you spot the clear wells?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you see them?
Yeah.
That is a hit. So that will be good. So how many hits do you think we find in a year? Out of that, my 50 to 60,000. 10,000? That's a bit too much. No. We're looking probably about 1,000 to 500. So we're back to that figure you said earlier on, 1,000. That's how many hits. All right? We would then pass them on. So fungicides and insecticides goes over to Stein. Herbicides goes upstairs to the glass house and goes up there, okay? How many out of then, all that, do you think I may get to market if I'm lucky?
3 or 4.
I wish. 1. We've been aimed to try and hit 2, but 1 AI could be active. So all this pre-work out of the 10 years, and this continues. So we screen the same screens for 50 weeks of the year. This is a continuous cycle, okay? Right, so when we come to assessing it, some of it's done by eye, some of it's not. And some of it's going to go over there to Gary in a second. Hang on, Gary, I've got a question.
How many wells are there in the plate?
How many wells? 96. But 1 column is always a what? What would you always have in any experiment that you do? A control, well done. So one of my columns here is a control. The 88 samples will be in here. Some of those will be standards. Okay? Right, now you can go over to Gary.
There would also, of course, be replication. Right, okay, so as Deb said, some things we look at and assess by eye, others are much easier, nicer to do using an image analysis suite. And so this here is Euromyces, so this is a bean rust, indeed the field bean rust, and the leaf piece that it is on is field bean. It isn't the target, our target is actually soybean rust, but this is much easier to work with in terms of legislation and legality and chemical So what we are looking at here is you don't want stuff like that. It's a lovely setup. It's all touch screen and it works a treat. That there is what we call a 0 score. That bean leaf is covered in these brown dots, and what those brown dots are where the spores that have been sprayed onto this leaf. The leaf piece has had a chemical applied to it and then been sprayed with an inoculum of spores. What has happened in the case of the vast majority, as you can see, of the leaves of the chemicals that go through tests, are they effectively have not worked. So the spores have penetrated the surface of the leaf. They spread out like roots almost across, within the leaf, and then sporinate. So they burst through the top of the leaf, and the rust is there to be picked up, brushed past, and move on. However, you do get those, which are what we are looking for. So the chemical there has worked a treat. The spores have not taken to the leaf. It has killed them over the course of the 13 days that they've been incubated for. Nothing has occurred. So that is one of those sort of 500 that we'll see, 500 to 800 or whatever, that we'll see throughout the year that will progress, but in likelihood be fizzled out further down the line for various reasons. Something we do have to be careful of as well, and the reason we have various types of analysis here, is that there looks like a relatively clean leaf piece. You know, we've got one spore that may have popped up here, but it could be something to do with the fact the chemical didn't get to that part, or for example's sake. But this system, this here, is very unexciting in there, I'm afraid. But the plate gets popped on there, you close up the door, you take a white light photograph and an infrared photograph. And so the white light effectively shows us that, but the infrared shows us an effect called haloing, which is where the spores are, you know, the rooting of the spores is still there under the leaf surface, but we can't see that on the top here. So we have a segmentation option which allows us to see it. And if we take this leaf piece here, it looks like it could be a high scoring potential chemical there. We've just got the one spore. But as you can see here on this segmentation photo, we've got those relatively large purple blotches, and that's where the disease is growing under the leaf still. So that's not as good as you may have originally believed it to be. So any questions on the way the bean rust works?
What's the NDVI?
Okay, what do you think it is? Judging now that you know that there's something to do with a plant-based assessment?
Normalised difference prevention.
Absolutely, brilliant. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so just quickly then, another example of a screen that we do image analysis for is the nematodes. Debs, did you mention the nematodes?
No, I haven't.
No, okay, what's a nematode? Anyone? Care to hazard a guess? No? Fair enough. It's a microscopic worm, and it is a crop pest, lives in the soil, penetrates the roots of plants, lays eggs, eggs hatch, and you get what we call like galls and just like growths on the roots that are full of these worms and these worm eggs and cysts, and it's not good for the plant. So, this is a nematode assay. And this is done differently. It's not done in here. It's done on this wonderful piece of kit here. Please don't jog it. It's set up perfect. And I believe you're going to see some 3D printing demos at some point. Effectively, we had that 3D printed. It looks like absolutely nothing, doesn't it? But it's a wonderful piece of kit that allows us to shine light. That it angles the light through the bottom of a plate, so that we can actually see the nematodes when this camera takes a photo of them. And what the camera does, rather than just the one picture, like with the bean rust assay, it will take a picture every second for 30 seconds. So it sort of creates sort of like a little, like a flick book where you draw something and it changes as you flick through it. Because what it does is when you then look at it on here, the nematodes are moving because it's effectively showing you 30 photos taken together, and it's much easier to ascertain whether the nematode's dead or not if you can see them moving. So that chemical in there has not worked at all. You can see here loads of movement from the worms. You can even see from the actual photo they're wiggling around. But if we take this one, the black picture at the bottom, absolutely no movement at all. The actual photo on there itself, where the blue circle is, there's no heat mapping because the nematodes are not moving, and you can see from the picture at the top there's just loads of little white lines in it, and that is actually dead nematodes and the chemicals weren't there. Any questions? Anything to add, Debs?
No, nothing to add at all.
There you go.
So for us, this is a good hit. This is one of our newest screens coming onto them. So
it's still teething, but
it is teething.
Yeah.
But through imaging, we can do it. We could never have done this through a naked eye.
Yeah, you can't.
It would never be possible. So because of imaging. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Outside.
The plastic rings you get around a can just to hold them together. That sort of stuff, you can use that when I go skiing. If I get a scratch on my skis, I melt that to drip it onto the basin.
Cool. Into the cloud, we can manage in the cloud, we can look at crop planning, we can look at growth cycles and do a huge amount of data analysis, which gets really quite exciting.
Of course, it also has the added bonuses of if we're growing at the point of demand, in the fruit example where they had to harvest several days in advance and the weather could change, in this situation, if it rains, we simply don't bring the crop down to the shop floor. And it's still growing, it's still fresh, and it's ready to be used in a week when it might be needed then. Or with the data that we're gathering across the entire units, you could potentially slow the growth and have it ready in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Or likewise, you could bring forth when a crop is going to be ready to be harvested.
That's our basic demo model, and it's missing another logo on there, which should be on there, which is that was actually the Electronics and Computer Science Department of Southampton University. So that's the sort of people we are getting interested in helping us. We've got suddenly put on some weight. Alex there is going to work for ARM. Little, can't remember his name now.
They're working for all sorts of companies, but you would not think this is the sort of people that will be working in modern farming and agriculture industries. These are all modern electronics, robotics, the sort of thing where you see a factory of Intel would be slowly building up wafers for microchips. But actually the same skill sets, when applied in a different mindset, can lead to developments of an entire system. And this one would track 24 hours a day the exact CO2, moisture, light and soil acidity across our entire system, harvest it and bring it to a single location so we can see exactly what's going on at any point in the system. Almost like the farm model they were gathering data with if you were on the tours.
And one of the ways we do it is each crop tray is actually tracked with an RFI tag, so that's what those boys were working on really nicely for us, and how we use those tags to trigger cameras so that we can have the data, so we can have, quite possibly we could actually let you have the barcode that goes through the checkout at the supermarket could actually be used to deliver all the data from seed to sale for those that are interested. Individually, we're quite happy to let people have it. Collectively, that is some massively useful data.
So it gives you the advantage of, as a little thing, you have a little QR code you scan on your plant you've got, and you can then see every day how it grew from a seed to the full-grown plant you've now got at home with you. But also you could then use that to track how every nutrient and light change and every single data point has affected the final growth of the plant.
And it doesn't actually take that massive amount of computing data at that point, and we are controlling it with a very simple little one that we have talked about earlier today. And so that is us. So we've got cloud grow technology with systems, and we can deliver cloud grown produce, which we've got as registered trademarks, which we're rather pleased with. So that's about us. Any questions? Kind of all gone quiet.
Jonathan, you said you had a light bulb moment. Do you have many light bulb moments?
I've had a few over the years. This is the first one that's been really worth taking anyway. Or, well, that has been at the right time, perhaps.
when I'm working out how we can develop and improve some of the systems, I often find that I'll talk to my friends that maybe did psychology as a completely different field, and just through talking about it, someone will have an odd thought, which they might have just discarded as, oh well, why haven't you tried this? And so sometimes, even completely unrelated fields, you can have an idea, and that small idea, when put into the mind of someone who can actually develop it and utilise it, can massively change systems. I mean, I think recently we had a system where we couldn't work out how we're going to be doing a mass delivery of the things across multiple units that we've got in development, and just through having a chat, I realised that we could use essentially an upside-down roller skate to convey things along a rail that we otherwise would have to use massively clunky robots picking up individual crops across the entire system.
So yeah, it's actually, we're trying to use a lot of simple technology to bring the crops to a single point across the roof where we have all our intensive areas of technology. So we only need a few cameras for the whole roof. Yes?
When can we see this sort of thing come around, like superstores with like arms on the roof?
It's going to happen in another country before it happens here.
Yeah.
I've got interest from Sweden. We're talking to Metro, the equivalent of Tesco in Germany, who are really pushing ahead with this sort of thing. And it could be a university or a school that could take some of this technology on. We can do it in that small trailer module, and if any school wants to get involved and interested in that, we'd be really interested in helping move that side forward.
As for how soon it could happen, within the next 2 to 5 years we'll have designs which could be fitted to any sized rooftop or area that's currently being unutilised. And one of the big things is a lot of roofs at the moment that see solar panels on. And when you're looking at big industrial roofs like superstores, they aren't built to be strong enough to carry the full weight of the solar panels, so you can't actually put them on there. Whereas it's a very lightweight system that we can load through simple hard points that are already in there in the structure that we use for the construction of it, and it can go anywhere. Whether it's going to appear on a school in the next 2 to 5 years, maybe 1 or 2 that are interested. Superstores, we're talking to few. It could be them. It could be distribution networks like TNT, which actually end up delivering from the main depots to a lot of stores individually.
And actually coming back to the solar panel side of it, that trailer has now had 2 solar panels on it, and we have not had to charge the batteries since we put them on, which means we can actually have potentially a whole supply chain delivering crops to the shop floor without any added energy.
Yeah. It's a big deal, but we're not entirely sure how to fully explain that one, because again, like this building is vacating carbon dioxide from it, because even a slight increase in carbon dioxide in the air can make people feel drowsy, tired, and slow down their thinking. So this building will be constantly ventilating itself. But all the air in here, you'll notice, is quite warm, pleasant to be in. In the middle of summer, they'll be dumping all that hot air out through the roof, which is actually ideal for a lot of crops that like to be in warmer climates. So we can harvest all that waste heat and waste energy and put it to use in essentially a free system, which is almost entirely self-powered and requires no added input. We're actually, if anything, insulating the building in winter conditions where it might need to stay warm. Any other questions? Right.
Silence.
So I think we had the first presentation, so that's great nice for you guys. Good luck to everyone.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Brexit, financial issues, and they're also under the threat of fly tipping, which is where rubbish is illegally dumped on private property at the cost of the ecosystems, crops and water.
This method is often used to get rid of materials which have strict and costly disposal procedures, for example asbestos and dangerous chemicals. This means that whole ecosystems can be devastated.
As well as the immediate damage to wildlife, it's also the farm's expense to clear up, which calls for expensive disposal units. In 2008, over £70 million was spent by landowners and government on enforcement actions.
So we have come up with a solution to protect the food-growing land of the future.
Our idea is a budget motion detecting CCTV camera run by a small computer, Raspberry Pi Zero. When motion's been detected, the camera will start recording, notifying the farmer by email and push notification on his phone. The farmer can either ignore this or view the app, open the app and view a live feed.
Also, when the motion stops, it will automatically email the video to the farmer, and also store it on a network drive on their computer at home, which adds to the security so that the videos are always stored.
The app consists of each of the farmer's cameras, and when one selected, the live feed is shown.
It's designed specifically to be discreet and will fit in a simple 50 by 30 by 10 centimetre box, for example a bird box, which will be fully waterproof and provided by us.
Our product consists of a Raspberry Pi Zero, an infrared Pi Cam Noir, portable batteries, solar panels, and an optional Wi-Fi range extender and power source, or a portable Wi-Fi at £20 a month.
It's designed not only to catch fly tippers but also to deter them. Posters like these will be provided with each purchase of the product, which will warn fly tippers of the potential dangers of doing fly tipping.
Unlike normal cameras, our one does not need a mains power supply and only costs £140 to £50 for the whole package, which includes a network-connected camera which broadcasts to the web and app, emails motion to the farmer and saves videos on the network drive.
It will come with instructions and will be mostly set up by us through a cloned SD card. It will be fully customisable and will be altered to fit the farmer's needs.
For a higher-end product, we have many adaptations, which include the video quality, frame rate and extra solar panels for longer life, for an extra cost. We already have the code and it's a simple way of marketing a higher-end product for a higher price.
Along with this, the product works as a basic security camera, meaning that it can protect and guard any premises from other illegal activity, for example theft.
This is not just farmers it can help, but anyone who wants to protect private property, so it has a big market.
We'll now show you a video of what we have already recorded with this device. The frame rate is quite slow on this, however the frame rate can be altered and increased for a high quality video along with the pixel density.
As mentioned earlier, there are many problems, but here are our solutions. Our camera stops contamination of ground, food, and plants and crops, and no harmful chemicals will be dumped, which allows ecosystems to flourish and animals and plants can live in peace. Lower enforcement costs.
Our product is already very advanced, however it will be in a changing world and will need to develop. We are planning to develop an HTML email which will include a link to automatically send the video attached to the council if there is any dodgy stuff going on in it. We're also planning to incorporate pre-recorded messages into the app and possibly messages that could be sent recorded at that time, which will all be sent directly to the camera. This will require a speaker and a small extra cost as well.
So our idea solves problems affecting farmers right now in a simple, affordable and most importantly effective package. Thank you for listening.
Any questions? Yeah.
Lunch now, that'll allow us the time to get the next presentation lined up ready, where you're going to hear about farm systems. But over lunch, it's quite quick, and there are also other things to do and see while you're getting your lunch. So we've got sandwiches, we've got crisps, we've got fruit, there'll be some chocolate bars as well out there. So please go and grab those. There'll be obviously some plates to put them on, and then interact with the people, the partners that are here, people that will talk to you about careers, other interesting things that happen at universities,
North and south.
other things that you can do around engineering and technology and maths, and all of the people from Syngenta that you've met already before. So please use the opportunity not just to fill your faces, which you're going to have to do anyway, because we don't want anybody falling over later, but use the opportunity to mix about, look at some of the 3D stuff, learn about some of the different things that we're going to do. Some of those guys need to have a little bit of practice for their presentations and take 5 minutes to do that. But we're going to be back in here in 15 minutes, ready to go again, so it's pretty quick. Okay? Yeah? Right.
Yes, lads! Yeah, now it is. Okay.
Hello, my name is Leon and we're from Garfield College. That's Sean, that's Alex, that's Liam and that's Rachel.
Our product is the Odyssey SS Strider, right there. The 3 S's stand for systematically surveying soil. Our goal is to make cheap and reliable solution to unusable soil.
we believe that this will make products cheaper and make farmers richer. How it will work is that we will have SS seedles that analyse the soil. They will use Bluetooth to send results to a chemist, SS chemist. They will be powered by the solar energy, so it doesn't cost very much to use. The chemist will concoct a chemical to sort out any issues. The SS Strider will collect this and deliver it to the soil.
We got an idea from the lack of farms and the growing robot industry. Our original design was based on a mouse. It's because mice are known for scurrying through fields. We developed it by changing the wheels to off-road, the way it researches the soil, and the way it delivers nutrients. It improves existing solutions because it both examines and improves soil. It automates whole fields.
We use calcium hydroxide or oxide for decreasing the pH level, colloidal copper to increase the pH level, and colloidal silver as an antibacterial. We'll also have fertilisers to increase nitrates and other things that plants need.
And you can see the difference between a plant that's been growing in healthy pH levels and one that hasn't. There's a huge difference in the amount of growth.
We came across multiple problems. The first was how the SS seedle could communicate with the chemist. We thought of other methods like Wi-Fi, but eventually agreed that constant internet connection would be too big a strain on the battery. Another was that what would happen if the SS Strider encountered problems. The solution, an app which updates the farmer if it was unable to continue. We also were worried about the cost of contamination, so we decided to have different tanks with the separate chemicals that could be changed manually by the farmer, and the water tank being the main tank in use.
The SS seedle will be a probe that uses Bluetooth connection to connect to the chemist. It uses solar power because there will be solar panels just placed around it and top of it, so that it stays charged. It measures loads of things like the pH level, the moisture and the fertility, and it sends that information to the chemist, which will then analyse the data and come to a conclusion about it, and it will just make something that can fix the soil, and it will supply it to the Strider.
So the Strider will also use Bluetooth to communicate to the chemist, and it will have a microchip at the front to prevent any of the chemicals getting into the microchip and damaging the electronics. There'll be an app that allows farmers to see the progress and communicate with the chemist. And then we've made a Lego prototype, as you can see here, which we tested to see how it went over bumps.
Would anyone like to see it work?
So the remote control has run out of batteries, but luckily we made a program that can do it instead.
Like baby steps.
Yeah, it's pretty slow because it's very weak motors, but it's 4-wheel drive. Three-wheel. Because this motor powers these 2 wheels, and then obviously those 2. So yeah, the program just makes it go straight, and yeah, that's about it. Send it back to you.
Do we have any questions?
It is very efficient and incredible.
Oh, that's a question.
Yeah, that was a very good one.
Do you mean the Strider, which is the proof?
Probably about the size of a common lobster. Really? That's it?
No. It would be like this small because it's got to go through the plants.
Yeah, I thought we said it would be just a little bit bigger than this, like this sort of size, and it would be waterproof so that it doesn't, kill itself with the water that it's spraying everywhere, and so it just supplies everywhere with the stuff it needs to grow better.
The SS seedles will be individually planted in approximately a metre square between each other, so they survey that part of the soil that they're in, and then individually tell the Strider what solutions to put in the soil for the crops to grow at the optimum rate.
The question here.
How long do you think it would take for the strider to go across the average size field?
Well, it wouldn't move this slow, obviously, but I don't know.
Well, it depends how bad the soil is in the field.
And it would have to keep stopping, so maybe 15 minutes to get across the whole thing. But also, because it wouldn't only be one, there would be lots of different ones, and they'd target different areas of the field to focus on.
And you probably do it overnight as well. You could do it overnight. Okay. You.
How do you propose it would store like the liquids it needs to spray?
You have a tank on it.
It has multiple tanks.
Yeah. We can't really do much with this, something as weak as this, because as you can see it's just made of Lego. But the actual model would have much stronger motors, be able to get up much bigger obstacles, and it would have tanks and suspension.
One last question here.
If you say there's going to be multiple, what's it going to cost? Because otherwise you end up...
Well, considering a combine harvester is quite expensive, it can set you back quite a lot of money. With that as something as well, it wouldn't cost as much. It would be about probably £200 for a 1 or 2 units.
And that would also come with the seedles and
the chemist. The seedle wouldn't be expensive because it's just a pH, nutrient and bacterial limiter.
Chemist is pretty much just, well, it comes with some hardware, but most of it will just run through your computer. Yeah.
Okay, is that it? Yep. Thank you very much.
I don't know what happened, but it zoomed in a lot. Oh, I must have been resting my hand. I worked it out eventually and zoomed back out. So there's one point where it's just on your face.
Dun, 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 dun. Just recording this guy's face. Dun, dun, dun. I'm watching you. Yes. Hey, my batteries. Emma, batteries. I have a batteries. Oh damn, that's like a... what are they called? The phantom things. Guys. It's not there.
So next we've got team build-up.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Farm Tech Challenge Finals. Our project was to address the syngenta good growth plan. We are Team Build-Up from St Clementine School. My name is Arden and here are my colleagues, Daniel and Damon. Now I'll be handing over to Daniel who will be introducing the problem we are dealing with.
Bioaccumulation, build-up, a massive problem, hence our namesake. Farmers are putting pesticides on their farmland to stop animals and pests eating their crops. However, without their knowing, the rain can wash these harmful chemicals away into nearby lakes and rivers, which can disrupt food chains in the ecosystem. Also, it can cause health problems for humans. As you can see in this diagram, there's just a tiny bit of toxic algae. As toxins build up throughout the food chain, the problem becomes more and more harmful and can eventually affect humans' health. It can also endanger animals' health and endanger keystone species as it can cause animals to die out.
Our idea is to make a drone that can test for pesticides and toxins in expanses of water like lakes, rivers and obscure water sources on your land. We will test for them and hopefully prevent it from happening in the food chain. This will be done using a drone and a similar software to scan it, which will be further explained to detect pesticides.
But how are we going to solve this problem? Using a drone, the DJI Phantom 4, and attaching a similar software to ScanEat, which is a brand new device being developed. This detects pesticides when scanning agricultural produce and sending the detection to an app.
Using software like this, when the drone touches or goes near the water sources, the drone can detect if there are pesticides in the animal water sources.
Testing our drone. We tested our drone for the first 3 weeks of our project to see if the drone was able to reach the capabilities and expectation of our project's aim. To hover the drone over a river or lake to measure the amount of pesticides and toxicity to stop bioaccumulation. At first, we attached pH paper to the drone to see if there was an alkali or acidic solution in the water. Then we noticed not all pesticides are acidic or alkali solutions. Along the way, we noticed downsides of the drone in the conditions we've been in. We wrote down observations, and here are a few.
If we keep the drone at a steady hover, on a windy day, the wind can manoeuvre it, leading to a hard flight. In addition, the battery life of some drones can be quite short, and you might need to invest in another battery or a more expensive drone which has a longer battery, such as the DJI Phantom 4, rather than getting 2 separate shorter batteries. In addition, we had a problem with fragile pieces when trying to fly our drone, because the equipment was not all screwed off. This led to a hard flight, and the drone became lopsided.
Now Arjun has demonstrated how we used the drone for flight. We will watch a video on how we fly the drone for our practical. As seen in the video, there is a clear touch on the tray that we put water in. 2/3 of all our attempts touch the tray.
What are the benefits for farmers? The farmers will have more nutritional facts of their crops. With this knowledge, farmers can act to reduce the impacts of pesticides in that locality. Now, they can limit damaging the environment and the ecosystems around them.
In conclusion, we have learned it is possible to fly drones in the circumstances needed for our project, where you cannot necessarily reach sources by foot. And to detect bioaccumulation, you will need a suitable drone to be able to fly the distances required for finding the nearby lakes and rivers, and long batteries for the time required to fly to them. Our project will help people worldwide, allow the biodiversity of our environment to remain, and it also means that less food will be wasted. Now I would just like to touch on our mobile phone app, which links to the scanner for a 4G processor. You will press scan on your mobile phone and a message will be sent to the scanner. Then, once it has scanned, data will be sent back and you will be able to see whether the result is positive or negative. And then on the next slide, there will also be advice on what you can do and a contact number for if you need any more help. Syngenta's Good Growth Plan has been key in devising our project, and we have used one of its prime important qualities, safety, to influence our project, because this will help with the safety of humans in the future. I also thought I would mention that in recent years there has been a story on how pesticides have been killing bees, and I think this really represents how important this issue is and how it needs to be solved as soon as possible. Finally, I would like to thank the judges for listening and the audience for also listening to our presentation today. Thank you for listening.
Any questions?
How would you plan on getting the drone to a place that's more difficult to access, so whether it have trees between?
It would have a camera on, so we will see all the surroundings, see how to fly it from left to right. Yes?
What kind of equipment will you need to have on the drone, and how much will it carry?
Well, obviously, this drone is quite a lightweight drone, so it probably wouldn't be able to carry the standard, but the DJI Phantom 4 that we mentioned can carry obviously quite a heavy camera, and it will also be able to carry the scan needs. So it's just going to be a little pocket-sized scanner. It's going to be about that big, and then just about as wide as my finger. So it's not at all big, and it will use a laser to detect.
How much will all of this cost?
Well, we need to review this because as one of our problems, obviously the DJI Phantom 4 is a very expensive drone, and it costs around £1,000. So we are going to try and develop a solution. Maybe that could be a next step to try and bring the cost of this down, create a drone that will be able to fulfill what the DJI Phantom 4 can fulfill, as well as providing a cheaper cost for the buyer. Well, the thing is, you can't really remove pesticides from the water. This is one of the problems that we had. You can't react anything with it to get it away. So you just need to know that that's not the water source you use. But also, I think that maybe it's a sign for the farmer that they need to review the pesticides using. So obviously different pesticides use different chemicals, and there are some that are safer than others. So I think that our app would provide advice for that.
How much do you think it's possible to have it monitored on so you eliminate human error, and you potentially have it flying in areas that humans wouldn't react to, potentially on the computer? Would that be possible to share with your city, or would that be a bit learning that you guys actually be able to deal with?
I think we could do that. I think it is possible to maybe program it to help it hover or fly a bit better or closer to the water. Yes?
You said there's some solutions on your app that once you've scanned it, what are the examples of some solutions that you
Well, obviously, it wouldn't be solutions, it would just be advice. So, for example, you would say, do not use this to feed your animals, don't go and collect it. If there's any way, you have to try and keep your animals off that farmland. And another one would, as I said earlier, check your pesticide use, because this app would have a list of the best pesticides and the worst pesticides, so that you could still use pesticide, because obviously it's going to help to keep away all the pests and animals that are trying to eat the food, but you also want to make sure that it's not harming the environment, so you're going to try and use the best pesticides. They might be more expensive, but our environment is in trouble right now, so we need to do all we can to try and keep our biodiversity on there.
And that now? I think the DJI Phantom 4 is ridiculous because I think they have an app that allows you to program in and click fly on it automatically. So you could control the styles like that. Yeah, here you go. You said earlier that the drone doesn't actually take the pesticides out of the water. You said that wasn't really possible. So the drone doesn't exactly solve anything, it just advises the farmer on what to do.
Well, detecting is the first step. I mean, there is no real solution other than not using pesticides, and that is not going to help the farmers either. But by using better pesticides and knowing, and farmers having some knowledge on what's going on, they can make influence decisions on what they're doing with their land. And if all farmers just try and contribute a little bit, we can help to save some of their, not only their crops, their land and their animals, if their animals are able to get to the source and drink it. So I just think that this is, you can't take pesticides out of the water. Once the water's infected, we can't really stop that. But what we can do is try our best to ensure that no species or crops are being harmed by this, because obviously that would affect not only animals' health but our health.
Any more questions? No? Thank you very much.
Away by your
Presentation skills, much better than mine.
Yeah, very good.
So, the winner of the Farm Tech 2017 challenge is...
Hold it.
Don't press the button
Okay.
yet. We've got multiple builds. Build the tension. Ready? Are we ready? Yeah.
One eternity later.
So, the winner of the Farm Tech Challenge 2017 is Team Build Up. Come up. So,
Why is it not focusing? Why is it not focusing? Why?
I'll just kill this so that we don't have a crazy background on. There you go. Is that better for you guys from the schools that are taking photos? And then the important bit, who wants to take control of the £1,000?
Me.
Yeah.
You're closest. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
It's been a pleasure to present for everyone.
Nice.
So what we're going to do, we're going to take proper photos. As everybody's leaving, we're going to do them outside. There's a bit more light and air. So if all the teams that presented there, as the groups into the finals, we're going to get you as groups and do some photos outside with some of the partners as well. Yeah, let's get the other guys up. So the other two teams, if you want to come up, I think I've got the boxes, you can start.
Oh, we still get stuff. Nice. Free stuff. Free stuff. It's not food, so it's not worth it. Yeah. It's not food, so it's not worth it.
Alex Lee. Leon.
Liam.
Richard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Is it food? Is it food? Is it food if it's not?
So when we come and do the photos.
I'm to rip off if it's not. Oh yes. Oh yes. Participation award. Alex. Alex. Participation award. It's a participation award. Oh, the quiz. What's in there? Oh, yeah. What are they? What? Oh, yeah. I just wanted to take all presents and tried to hide it. I was like, oh, yeah. Wait, my parents are going to see this video. You suck. My arm is hurting so badly.
Oh, I have one of them.
Oh, you're getting ripped off then.
I have one. Oh no, that's a USB one. I don't have one.
It's a hard quiz, there was a wrong answer on there.
That was you.
No. That's a laptop. I just trod on the laptop.
Yes.
I don't know what that
Right,
is.
we found one with all the right answers on.
Oh, come on. Come on, people.
James Mark.
Who? Nice. Congratulations. You are being zoomed in on, mate. I'm making you feel really uncomfortable. I made him feel really uncomfortable.
So everybody, thank you today.
Oh, I got the last one wrong.
This has been awesome.
So close.
You could have won.
So close.
What?
Yeah, so far. Oh, fuck. I meant to do that. No, Sean. Sean, no.
So we really have rushed you around today, and I only apologise a little bit for that. But thank you for the way you football. the questions that you asked as you've been going around, those presentations were fantastic. So much more beyond what we actually got to put on your submissions. So that was great, and you handled questions really well as well. So that was really good. Thank you everybody aside from the finalists, people who had also submitted to the challenge and didn't make it as far as the final. It was really, really tight this year. So thanks everyone. Thanks again to all of our partners, those that have joined us here today as well to enhance this experience for us. What we want to do now, well, everyone's going to get a chance to leave, but we wanted to, if you guys can stay in your groups, don't leave your bags and things, but we're just going to go on the grass outside this building. If you've got your props, your drone and your Mindstorm thing, that would be great, because we'll get that in the photo as well. And we'll just
where is it?
Photos out.
Sean, where did you put it?
It's in my beak.
Your beak. Jesus Christ, they are heavy as hell.
We don't know what's in it. I know there's a keyboard.
There's a power bank, a keyboard, and something else.
I don't know what that is. I think it might be a Raspberry Pi.
Ooh, I want it. I want my Raspberry Pi. Leon. For like 3 months, I've had an SD card with the software on it. But when I get a Raspberry Pi,
well done, guys. I'm very proud.
I'm just like, come on, please, please. For 3 months, I've had a USB, not USB. I've had an SD card with the Raspberry Pi software on it for when I get a Raspberry Pi. It's like, no, please be Raspberry Pi. Plus, fam, plus.
They told us the answers. How did you get it right?
Yeah. If I had done the last one, Alex, you told me what the last one was B. What was it?
Alex.
It was A.
The
last one, Alex.
By the way, it's the vegetative index. And you're like, oh, it must be B then.
Alex, you fucked me up. Alex, this is all your fault. I could have got that quiz right.
You could have got it wrong.
The second quiz that came out was my one, and Alex told me the wrong answer for the last question.
I'm so sorry.
Alex, why? I can't believe you've done this.
It's alright.
Might be a Raspberry Pi. It's one of the, you need scissors, I think.
It's like
a mini computer thing.
What's that?
I think it's Raspberry Pi, but we're not sure.
Is that going to be like
That's a keyboard.
It's like a games device.
I know.
Check it out. Sick.
Oh, is it Bluetooth?
iPads Pro. Mini keyboard.
iPads. iSpads. That's what I instantly think of.
You can use this for software.
Yeah, I wonder what.
Yeah.
I wonder if it interacts with whatever's in here.
Yeah,
it might be like an Arduino or like.
I think it's a Raspberry Pi.
It might be.
Wait, look at the labels.
It could be a
Yes.
hard drive.
Yes.
Raspberry Pi 2.
Yes.
Raspberry Pi.
Yes, it is. It's a Raspberry Pi. My voice. I know.
Right. Do we want to make our way out?
Yeah, I must tell my granddad because he said he might get me one, but I've already got one now, so yeah, I don't want him to waste his money. Yes. I'm gonna eat it.
Guys.
Let's eat it.
Can we move out?
Let's eat it.
So can we
Should we take our bag?
get everything packed up so we're ready to start heading up?
Why am I still recording?
Oh my god.
Yeah, but we're watching a film though.
I've known Lauren.
My tutor group are watching a film. No, Fielden.
Fielden did round us first.
Young bag.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, but my tutor group is doing watching films here 4 and 5. Don't care. I'm here at 4, whatever. Hello, people. Goodbye. Screw you.
I don't think let's face it, the drone wasn't a solution.
Yeah.
It was just an informant. I don't think the judges like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a solution.
We still got Raspberry Pis.
It'd be different if it was like fix the water.
These guys are going to win. They have such a good idea. I was thinking the other team. What?
It was like, I was thinking you were going to let's face it.
Guys, I think if we called it a Strider, we would have won. Let's say we have to pronounce them like the chemist of the Seedle and the Strider.
How many layers it was?
You see, they were playing it.
It's a needle with S's.
It's pretty much that.
Yeah. It's basically a pH meter, wireless, controlled by powered by solar panels.
And it's separate.
Yeah.
No kidding. We would have been a bit savage for a while. We were actually eating each other's chocolate and everything. I've got a big
Guys, we can use the Raspberry Pi. We can use the Raspberry Pi as the chemist. Alex, we can use the Raspberry Pi as the chemist. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, we can actually make it though.
Yeah.
And then we're like, next year, like, oh yeah, so you know how last year we came like third? Yeah, we improved it.
Yeah, we have an actual working thing that we're selling right now.
Oh, next year we should actually make a working prototype so everyone
Yeah.
saves up the money. Do it again.
It's 11 to 14. Did you 10-12 this year? 13. So maybe next year's not beginning, but we have more year 8 next year, so it might be a case of maybe running with some new year 8 next year, doing it you guys
Why is that door like wobbling? Like that door wobbles when it goes over buttons.
When they were building up the touchscreen, I just like, can I rest on? I feel like I honestly thought that it's a lot of money. Yeah, that's why it's and they said it would go places where you can owls and
The problem with their thing is if they crash the drone and break it beyond repair, then that's a lot of money.
Did someone throw some banana?
Yeah.
Lena, was that you?
Yeah, I suspect Lena.
You want your banana
Or Harry.
Who's banana peel?
It's Harry's but Leonard's.
Okay, I knew.
Here's your banana peel back. There you go. Merry Christmas.
You're welcome.
Right, that's
Who is that?
No, don't.
What is happening? Oi! What are you on?
Richard's gifted, you can return it.
Huh? There
You know your Raspberry Pi, yeah?
Yeah.
Gift, which means you can return it and guess who bought it? Me. So I'll please return it.
No. If I want to, I will, but I'm not going to.
Wait, no, that window opens.
Oh my god! It's a crescent! Oh my god! It's a nursery! Awkward silence. You just threw the banana peel out the window. It's how you threw the banana peel out the window. Like, I swear I heard the window open and then close really quickly. What is happening? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Oh yeah.
Don't hurt me. No more.
Film that.
Yeah, I'm filming.
Real hard.
What?
No, I had a strong film that real hard.
Good. Real good. I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm such a sugar rush. You called me and Ravi language.
I've had a fight.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Folders Lane. We're going down Folders Lane. That sounds dodgy. Not me, I don't like double deckers. Double deckers are terrible. Yeah. Oi fam, who broke down the bike? Yeah, it's caffeine in it. Yeah. Caffeine.
Guys, it landed on my face.
Espresso has caffeine, which is a drug. I did drugs in the morning. I did drugs this morning. I had coffee.
Who wants this?
Hey, wait. You know I had a Lucozade bottle, and I put it down when we went into that, like by the hanging up thing when we went into the lab with the lab coats.
Yeah.
I forgot to pick it up again. Oh dear. Oh dear. What's the time? My phone.
Yeah.
I can't be. It's tricky to get out. It's 2:08.
Because we already lost.